Welcome to Rack of the Week number 160. This is an exciting time right now, happening the Legends of Pocket Billiards. Go look them up on Facebook. They have a new room set up for straight pool high run attempts. They've got a Gold Crown one, beautiful setup, and a number of players are scheduled to try to set a high run and possibly a new high run world record, including Jason Shaw. That's going to be starting up in the next day or so. So give them your support. One of the people I want to call attention to is Steve Kurtz, and he runs the Bayshore Billiards Straight Pool League. You'll find them on the Straight Pool Fanatics Facebook page. And this week we're going to look at a rack from the finals of their latest league. It was won by Eric Edelman. It's a simple lesson about patience, and I know I've talked about this before, and I always say it's going to be a short rack of the week. Let's see if I can follow through this week. I've got the camera angle for this rack zoomed in, and unfortunately what happens then is it cuts out the logos for the sponsors. So I want to give a shout out to the sponsors for the Bayshore Straight Pool Billiards League for this season, and they are Scenic Isle Landscape Design, McDaniel Electric Motor Repair, Digital Pool, In the Box Sportswear, and then the logo for this one says SSOP. What the heck is that? Oh yeah, that's me, shortstop on pool. Let's get into the rack. Okay, so we're taking a look at the setup. Eric has just made the K2 ball, and he's on his key ball. Obviously, he has a below the rack break shot on this 3 ball. And he does something smart. Watch him. He walks over. He's just made the other ball. He walks over behind the ball and doesn't shoot it. Before he shoots it, he walks back over to the other side, and he's sighting. And this is really smart because when I first looked at this, I said to myself, okay, he's just going to pop this ball in the pocket and make the cue ball bounce back up a little bit and have this shot from this side for a break shot. But no, he's sighting over from this side, and that's really smart. If you look at the center of the table is right here, and the break ball is actually on this side. And because of that, it's a lot smarter to shoot the break shot from this side. The cue ball is going to run into the corner of the rack, whereas if you shot it from this side, it's going to run right into the center of the rack. So you're going to get a much better spread and be able to get the cue ball loose from the rack. So I wanted to point that out. That's pretty smart. And let's go ahead and hit play. And so we're going to watch the break shot that leads into this rack. So that's perfect position. He's got a nice sharp angle. That means the cue ball is going to retain a lot of the energy. And let's fast forward and get into the break shot. So this is a straight high ball. You could use a little bit of left English to make sure the cue ball turns off the rail. I want you to notice how hard that he didn't hit that. I definitely would have hit that ball maybe twice as hard, trying to get the ball spread really wide. So I've talked about this before. You can characterize that as old school straight pool. Just get the cue ball to come off the rack and come off the rail. Don't try to spread all 14 balls wide across the table. So that's the first example of patience in this rack. So let's take a look real quick at what he's got. Obviously, when you do that, you're going to have a cluster in the rack area. These 2 balls are tied up. But by hitting it with that speed, these balls came off the side of the rack, and you've got at least 2 of them that could easily become a break ball for the next rack already. So is it going to be possible to preserve them? Now, you saw Eric look. I think he's going to walk over to the head of the table and look again right there. Okay. So there's a re-break shot on this stripe into the corner pocket. He's got a shot on this 10 to just roll forward to right where he's looking and open that up. But we're going to see him exercise some patience, and I think that's wise. I would definitely be very tempted to shoot this shot right now because I want to get those balls open. I want all 14 balls spread wide across the table so I have easy pickings. That's not necessarily the best way to shoot a rack. In fact, it's probably not the best way to shoot a rack of straight pool. So what does Eric do instead? He has a free, no-risk opportunity here to remove some balls. So look at how he's walking around and studying the rack. This is great straight pool. So he's going to remove these 2 balls. This ball is also a problem because the 6 ball, you can't, unless you get the cue ball over here, you're not going to have position on that 6 in the corner. And this stripe ball right here also blocks access to the 2 ball. So you kind of want to get rid of that. but there's no really easy way to get there. And remember, we're shooting off our soldiers. So we're running a risk that we're not going to get a good opportunity to re-break these balls. But Eric's really exercising a lot of patience here. And this is great straight pool. Taking his time, studying the angles, making sure about what he wants to do. So obviously now he can just roll forward on this 7 ball, shoot the 10, and then he'll be on this 12 ball for a re-break. Forgot to turn off the sound on my phone. So he's checking the angle again. How far does he want to come? Then he makes a decision. This is another example of exercising a lot of patience because he has an angle now to do this. Just get on that 15 in the side. That's the only problem ball of the balls that are open. And now, after shooting the 15, he's got a re-break shot. He's got 2 re-break shots, as a matter of fact. You could shoot the 6 ball, I mentioned that a moment ago, and run into these. The disadvantage with that shot is, although it's a good re-break shot and you're very likely to come away with a shot, is there's no insurance. And I was a little bit surprised, but again, I think this is also dovetails in with the idea of patience. Eric's going to shoot that stripe and just kind of keep the cue ball above the rack. And he didn't blast it, just hit it with a nice soft speed. I've talked about that before, opening clusters by gently nudging them open. And that's really what he did. And in doing so, he preserved a shot on this 2 ball. The 2 ball didn't move. The 6 moved, but the 2 didn't. So if nothing else showed up for him, he had a shot on his insurance ball. Really smart and a good example of patience. Now, from this point, you've got a potential break ball here, possibly with this 14. And I think a lot of people, I'm going to hit pause, a lot of people, myself included, would be looking at the easiest shot on the table, which is this one. Actually, the second easiest. The easiest one might be this 9 ball on the side. But this is the problem you want to deal with now. All the balls are wide open. You just have this little issue to deal with. What I what I thought of when I initially saw this layout was that these 2 balls go into this pocket, okay? So you want to get short side position to clear at least one of those balls. So what I would have done is played this 2 and just bounce the cue ball off the rail and over here. Then I could play the 1 and then use get on the 9 ball from the 1, and then the 6 gets you on the short side position for those balls. Now that's the risk-free way to do it. You're not bumping any balls. And maybe that's the more patient way. But you're also removing a really good key ball sequence to get on your 2 ball break shot. So this is an interesting choice that Eric's just going to tap this ball in and nudge the 8. Now that didn't have to turn out that well, but there's very close quarters on that ball. So the cue ball's not going to get away from him. So he knows he's going to have a shot on this 1 ball next. Now, sure, the 8 ball could have come up here and tied up with those balls. But I think he hit it, again, he hit it with that really good soft speed and good direction so that ball's open. So just a great result from that shot. Now, this is a really, really common type of an end pattern in that you have a break ball, you have a ball in the side pocket as a key ball, but there's a ball, at least this time there's 2 balls, but at least 1 ball between the break ball and the rail. So instead of just a stop shot on the key ball on the side, you have to use the ball on the side and then hit this ball to bounce off the rail to get on your key ball. Happens a lot. So now you want to clear these other balls, and you can just maneuver with these last 4 or 5 on this side of the table. So let's take a look at Eric's choice. I agree. I think I agree with what he does. You know, it wouldn't be a mistake to shoot the 1 and bounce all the way up here for the 15. You probably want to finish with the 2 before you approach your end pattern, because the 2 is kind of diagonal to the 9 in the side. So that's what I'm thinking about. And I think that's what Eric was thinking about too. He's not happy with that. He may have been trying to come up here and get the 15. I think that's the 15. I like going 15, draw back for the 2, and then you're on the 9. Didn't get there. So this is a good choice. Now you can shoot the 6 or the 2. I like the 2. These 4 balls is kind of like a remnant of a drill. Remember, if you have a semicircle or an L drill like this. So this is a good end pattern. There's so many options. It's not the triangle type of end pattern, but as long as you keep your cue ball some distance from these balls, don't want to get too close to them. That minimizes the angle. So we pulled it back real nicely. You're going to be able to run these balls. It's kind of like an L drill, and you can shoot them in any order. So he's going to use the 2 ball as a key ball. That makes a lot of sense. I like shooting the 8 ball here and bouncing off the rail, just a center ball, and coming back over to make sure you have a nice, good angle on this 6. And Eric does something a little bit different. He goes a 2 rail route with the 6 ball, and I kind of like that. For the reason is you've really got to hit that very hard to bounce off the second rail and come past the shot line. So that's a way to preserve the angle on the 8 ball. So it's a good play. Now you just hold the cue ball on this side of the table, and he's got a real healthy angle on this 2 ball to open the next rack. Let's go ahead and take a look at the break ball. I think in this break shot, you're just going to want to hit it high ball. It makes it more difficult if you try to put any left or right English on this. So let's watch the speed. Yeah, okay. So that time, Eric hit that with that good, medium, soft, straight pool break shot stroke that I've become a fan of in the last few weeks, maybe the last couple months. And that time it didn't serve him well. A little bit more speed would have been better. I think the cue ball could have come off those balls in this direction, and in doing so may have knocked a couple of balls this way and then had a real good shot to continue the run. As it is, just like 9 ball, if you have a shot, you run out. If you don't, what do? You play safe. Straight pool is the same thing. If you have a shot, you try to run the table. If you don't, play safe. That's one of the advantages to that medium soft break shot. You're not letting the cue ball go wild. You're not spreading balls wild way across the table. So if you don't have a shot, you're going to have a very clear safety option. So I think this is a real good example of patience. I want to give a shout out to Bayshore Billiards. It's a really great straight pool league over on the East Coast. Go give them some love, give them some likes, and watch some matches. There's a lot of live stream matches on Straight Pool Fanatics. I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching. If you're going to play straight pool, play it straight. See you next week on Rack of the Week. Bye.